Hi, it's Michael Ankrah, founder of Hackner Education and author of Learning Naturally. Today I want to bring you another installment on what I call faith and learning. And as I said in the past videos, this is going to be a session where I try to do a second take on the sermon of Pastor Otabil when I listened to him. And today I listened to a sermon which he titled Walking by Faith and Not by Sight, which I thought was a very good topic. And this was a follow on of the teaching that he did as part of the Easter story. And one thing I was reading about earlier on was about something that lawyers learn when they go to law school, and it's something is this that you learn the difference between substantive law and also procedural law. Now, procedural law is basically that if the police were going to somebody's house, they need to serve a warrant or they need to read them their rights, and failure to do that will be an error in procedural law. So even though substantively something wrong may have happened, the case might just collapse because procedurally, the police have not done their work right, and that could affect things. So there's always the conflict between the process and the substance. Whereas substance is what actually happens, the process is also very important. And I see this also in my job as a teacher, where sometimes some of my colleagues get caught up in the process. And the process here will be like, you're planning how beautiful the book look and everything. And the substance really is what the children will come out with at the end of the day. So by the end of the year or whatever period, if your child is able to demonstrate a certain capability, then you have succeeded. But if all your processes are beautiful and the child has nothing, then I call that a failure. So again, we have the conflict between the process and the substance. So really, success means understanding the differences between the process and the substance, because if you focus entirely on the process and ignore the substance, in the end you're going to come short and you are not going to feel fulfilled. Now, religion is also governed by the process of the process and the substance. You see, the Christian faith can be divided into two. So there is a process. The process starts with when you call yourself a Christian, when you come to believe, your faith. When you buy into the faith, that is part of the process. And that comes with things like prayer, going to church, fasting, and all the other things. Okay, believing in the fact that Jesus is the Son of God. Now, the substance of your faith is demonstrated in the outcome, in the life that you live, the part that people see of you every day, whether in your home, at work, in school, everywhere you go. If people can see that demonstration, then the substance of your faith is evident. Now, I think what happens is that most people, most Christians, tend to focus on the process. So they take going to church religiously, they take paying their tithe religiously, and all those other things. But then when it comes to the substance of the faith, that is not so evident. And there's one scripture that the pastor referred to, which I like to go back on, and it's in Hebrews 12, 1-2. And it says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." And this is one thing I try to preach. Every one of us, we all came into this world with our race marked out for us. The important thing is that sometimes your faith will help you to find your own race and then you pursue it. But I know that in our modern culture with television and glossy magazines, sometimes we get clouded and we allow our society to tell us what race we should run. But it is important to find the race that has been marked out for us. Now, once you find that race, the verse 2 says this: "Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith." Because this is the kicker: for the joy set before him, the joy, the vision which is set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So after he has endured the cross, scorning the shame and everything, what did he do? He got the reward, and he was sitting at the right hand of the throne of God. So it is important for Christians to understand that the process is about expressing your faith and your belief. But then in terms of the substance, you need to be able to go through the process that Jesus taught. Okay, the process of enduring your cross. But one thing I've always said is that you can endure your cross once you know the joy, the vision that is ahead of you. Because in the absence of that, it becomes unbearable. The shame would easily throw you off track. But once you know that this is the joy ahead of us, then it's very easy to pursue and endure your cross. Because somebody once said that pain is inevitable, but our response to it, is purely a matter of choice. Okay, and Frankel also said that he who has a why to live for can almost bear anyhow. And Jesus had a why. The why was this ministry that is living thousands of years after him. Because the fact is that Jesus did not really care about the church. He did not come to form a church. He came that people may have life. Okay, because I always ask this question, what would Jesus prefer if he came into the world today and there were happy, fulfilled people but not one church? Or in another world, there were plenty of churches like we have in Ghana, but people are just struggling and they just cannot make ends meet. Which of the world would Jesus prefer? So really, the emphasis in the Bible is not about a physical building, the church. Your body is the church. And that is what Jesus was ministering to. So we after you have expressed your faith by choosing to be Christians, the substance of your faith must be manifested in your life. Because if you go to church every day and you pray and you reaffirm your faith, you fasting, you believing in God, that in itself is not going to bring you fulfillment. If on the other hand, expressing your faith as a Christian, you also follow the teachings of Jesus, the teaching that you should have a clear vision. Jesus had that on his mind, that before you have the same thing for mothers who, because of the joy of the baby that they are envisaging, they look forward to the pain of pregnancy and childbirth because they are looking at the end result. Okay, if we apply those principles, the principle that each and everyone believe, you just don't doubt it, you believe that you were set out on your own race, you have your own purpose in this life, and you look for that and you endure the pain that comes with enduring, pursuing your vision, then you can be assured of the joy that will come in the end. Living by sight is the characteristics of our world. We all live in the here and now. People want to do things for only one day. I see many people take decisions, and the decisions are purely based on today. It doesn't go beyond 3 days or a week. Okay, but what Jesus taught us through the story of the cross, what we learn from Joseph through his struggling from being sold into slavery and then also being lied upon and thrown into the dungeon, is that you must live and endure your cross. Christianity is not a license from adversity, but Christianity must teach you that pain is inevitable, but if you endure it, you can endure your suffering with grace and you will live the joy that comes with it. Okay, and this thing is this. If anybody, because if you employ the principles that Jesus taught, you are going to reap the benefit. This is not exclusive to Christians. So you will realize that the successful people in our world are not Christians. But if you track their lives, they will tell you that, if you want to start a business, just start. It's going to be tough. Steve Jobs says that it's easier when you are younger because the challenges are just so great that if you have other responsibilities, it can throw you off. But they all know this. Okay, when big CEOs pay people like Tony Robbins or motivational speakers to come and speak to them, they are paying millions for the same principles that Jesus came to teach us. Christians get this message for free. But what is happening? We have been caught up in the world of the here and now culture. Most people live by sight. They live by what they can see or what they can expect. But we must learn to live by faith. And then in the faith, we are able to follow or run the race that is set before us for each and every one of us. Because once we all have and we know our missions of this life, and once you find it, and I believe that, your prayer in church, your fasting, should help you get the revelation of what your race is all about. And once you find that, you know that you can pursue it. And in your in pursuance of your your vision or your mission, Jesus has taught you that it is going to be tough. There's going to be a Peter along the way who is going to betray you. There's going to be so many challenges that will come along the way. You will be shamed, publicly humiliated, but you know that you are planting the seed for that vision that is within you. And once you do that, you know that in the end, you are going to reap the reward that has been assured to you. My name is Michael Ankrah, and I thank you for watching this. This is titled Process versus Substance. I shall be with you again soon. Thank you.